Hello and welcome to the Direct Selling Success Podcast. I'm Anna Green and I'm here to share with you tips, tricks, and training on network marketing done right. Thank you for listening. Morning, everyone. How are you today? Monday morning, that first strange day of that Christmas run-up period thing that we all have that's going on, that's are we working, are we not? Are we running around like headless chickens trying to focus on Christmas and make sure everything's planned? Where are you with all this? I'm in work. I'm in work today and tomorrow. Today is my last official day. Tomorrow is kind of tying up loose ends and stuff. And I thought I would come on here and talk to you about January. Which feels really weird, talking about January when you're all prepping for Christmas. But I think it's really important. And there's a reason that I want to talk about this. So somebody in my membership today dropped a message into the chat saying, I'm just feeling so overwhelmed. I've come back after a nice breakaway, or not so nice breakaway, and I've come and sat in my business and I just don't know where to start. I don't know what to do. I feel really overwhelmed. And it got me thinking that actually we're all going to feel like this in January. So I wanted to cover it because, you know, how many of you have big ass goals for January? And I mean like big goals that you want to achieve for 2026 and you want to get straight to it after the Christmas break. I hear it all the time and I've done the same. I've sat down and I've planned my January, I've planned my February, I've planned all the way throughout the year what I want to achieve next year in 2026, and those goals are big. And I know from previous Januaries that I'll get to work on the whatever it is of January, you know, that first day back, that I'm sat in my office and everything's gone back to normal. And I won't have a clue what I'm doing. I won't know where I'm at. I don't know whether I want to get started with these big goals. I might fall into old patterns. I might get all overwhelmed because, you know, where do you start? You've got all these big plans, but, you know, what am I going to do? And I've done this before. And I've come into January with all these great expectations. And I know so many of you will as well. And gone, oh, let's just do what we've always done. Get what we've always got. Not get where we want to get. Not know where to start, so we don't start and we just drift again. Anyone else feel like this? So, you're coming up to Christmas. You're going to be finishing work. You've got those last bits to do before the day. Go off and have fun. You know, go and enjoy this period of festivities, you know, whatever it is you're doing with friends and family, whatever it is you're doing on your own, whatever changes to your work and life balance that you've had throughout this year, embrace it. Absolutely embrace it. And when you come back in January, I want you to have prepped and planned what you're going to be doing so that you can go straight back to it. Okay. The reason that we don't get started back to it after a breakaway, which is what we're going to have over Christmas, many of us will be having a nice big break over Christmas. We don't get started as we want to. We put stuff off and we avoid it and we do all the easy things first and we fall back into these old patterns because we've not planned enough. The need to do the thing isn't enough to stop that bit of our brain going, so we need to make it a bit easier for ourselves. We need to make it totally and utterly normal. Because if you think about it, you take time off from your schedule of what you usually do. You've broken a habit. You've got a habit of, oh, this is great. I can, you know, I can spend the time as I want, or I can do this over the holidays. And I love this pattern of the relaxed, whatever pattern you've got yourself into. You've got to recreate the normal business habit when you go back. If you've had time off work, like proper job work, if you have a full or a part-time employed role, that's gone over Christmas potentially, or it's a different habit over Christmas, different hours, different work-life things. You're fitting your business in around that, or maybe you've just dropped your business for the holidays, or got it on like
don't know, just pause mode, just doing little bits maybe, just kind of ticking over mode. If you think about you're doing that over Christmas, that habit has started to be formed. How do you then get back into that habit of normal, everyday, this is what I do, this is where I work, this is how I'm showing up, this is the things that I'm going to do? After breaking that, we beat ourselves up so much about getting back into this routine, and maybe we don't want to. Maybe we've enjoyed that time that we've had over Christmas. Maybe it's more difficult for you to do it because, you know, habits aren't easy to get into at the best of times, but they're very easy to break. Very easy to break. And getting us into a routine is tough. So when it comes to that January, the more we can do to prepare ourselves for this, the less likely it is for us to really, really struggle and find it incredibly difficult to get back into when we've had this break. And this applies for any time of year. This will apply when you change tack in summer holidays. If you've got kids, this will apply when you've changed your routine for things like going away on holiday for a week, or kids' half terms, or after an illness. Anything at all that changes our behaviours and our patterns, breaks a habit that we've set. But it can also be a really good thing. If you know that you've been working on your business this year and you haven't been as productive as you want to be, or you've fallen into bad habits of not showing up for trainings, or you've been putting off talking to those people that you know will help your business, or you've got lax on your follow-up, a new start can help. When it doesn't help is when you try and push yourself into all these great habits, these New Year's resolutions, these amazing things that you want to do that are just far too pressured. Put too much on yourself to do all these things. No, New Year's resolutions. Let's take them for an example. Any of you got New Year's resolutions for your business, for your health, for your personal life? We have this big thing. We have this big break over Christmas. Right? We have this amazing break over Christmas. And what we tend to do is just relax, have fun, you know, all this stuff. And then January comes and we go, right, I'm going to change all my habits. I'm going to eat better. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to get healthy. I'm going to lose loads of weight. I'm going to change my business round. I'm going to be a different person completely in January. Day one comes. What happens? Well, we want to do all these nice new things, but we've no habit form to do it. We've no real reason to do it because, you know, how on earth is somebody ever going to change their life overnight on the 1st of January or the 2nd of January or the 5th or the 12th, you know, whenever it is? It's not natural to do that. Habits are formed for a reason. Habits are formed to save space in the brain for us to do the things that we need to do. And they're formed by repetition and by processes and by discipline as such, I suppose, or alternatively, bad habits are formed by no discipline. So when we think about setting all these habits and things in the new year, it's never going to work. Not all at once. We can't just totally change what our brain does like that. It's not physically possible. Our brains are not wired to do that. We would explode. Not literally explode, but this is why the overwhelm kicks in. This is why the procrastination kicks in. It's our brain going, no, I can't take on all that at the moment. I need to keep Anna safe, my brain's going. I need to make sure that Anna is okay and safe and can function. So actually, I'm going to stick this overwhelm in her way. Because doing all those things is scary. Doing all those changes is going to take up too much brain power and might stop Anna from functioning as a human being. And that's totally normal. So what we've got to do is we've got to be kind to ourselves, okay? First of all, when we are going into the new year and we've got all these big plans, we're not going to change overnight. We're going to be the same person on the 31st of December as we are on the 1st. So we have to remember this and we have to be kind to ourselves. We have to remember that habits and new routines and old routines can be difficult to get back into, and we have to give ourselves time to do that. And this is really, really important. If you are the sort of person that just automatically thinks, this was me, automatically thinks that, you know, new year, new start, let's change everything, let's be a new me, it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take time, it's going to take effort, and it's going to take discipline of some way, shape or form to change the habits of a lifetime and to change the habits you've broken just over that short Christmas period. So let's do it step by step, okay? So my first tip for you is to sit down now and work out what you are going to do on those first days back. And I don't mean like the big dream stuff. I literally mean just the day-to-day things. That first day that you are back, showing up in your business as you want to carry on throughout the year, plan that day. So what I've done already is I've got my diary and I've looked at when I want to go back to work. So my first official day back is the 5th of January, the first day that I'm really back in work. And I've given myself 3 or 4 things that I want to get done that day. That's it. 3 or 4 things. Nothing massive, nothing huge, nothing that's going to make me go look at that list and go, no, I'm not doing that. That's not safe. I'm not doing that. Oh, I can put that off till tomorrow. Oh, do you know what? I might go and scrub out the toilet with a toothbrush, then do that. Okay, so I'm going to give myself things that I can do, actions that I can take, not results that I want, actions that I can take. Things like follow up with 3 people, and then I will list the 3 people I'm going to follow up with. What else could you put on there? You could put on there, talk to your team, you know, have a conversation with 3 team members and write down really specific who you're going to talk to, so that your brain can easily, when you get there on that first day back of sitting with your business, you know exactly what you're going to do. You want them preferably to be exciting things, or things that your brain thinks, this is going to get me closer to my goal if I do these things. Quick wins. Things that you can do that aren't going to be too big. And when I say too big, I mean like things that don't scare you too much. Not things that are way out of your comfort zone. They want to be like normal everyday things that are going to move your business forward, not loads of admin-y stuff, but things that are going to make you sales or make you new contacts, or like little things that are going to move you forward to that bigger goal that you want for 2026. Okay? And not masses of things. When you put masses of things on a to-do list, what happens is you look at it and go, God, I can't do all that. Brain shuts down. It does. It does. So think about the little things that you can do, just a few small actions, ones that aren't going to take you forever, that you can put in on that first day back. Okay? Next thing I want you to think about is being kind to yourself. That first day back, you might be all guns blazing. You might be so excited. You're going to start the new year as you mean to go on. This is what normally happens. You know, the New Year's resolution thing kicks in. The house is back to normal. You can get back to normal. And you go all in with all this stuff and you want to do all the things, and all the things happen on the first day. Second day comes along. Well, sometimes it can go the same way, but sometimes we've overwhelmed ourselves with the amount we did in the first day and it's not achievable the next day, so we get disheartened. It might be that you've not done the same thing as you did on the first day and planned your day. So the second day comes, you're like, well, I don't know what to do now. So the next day, you need to repeat the habit. So you need to, my technique that I do is I plan the next 3 or 4 tasks that I'm going to do for the day after. So I know exactly what I'm going to do in as much detail as possible to prevent the overwhelm. Those little actions that I can take, the little things that I can do to make sure I'm going to do the same thing the next day. So who am I going to follow up with? What 3 names are going on that list? Who am I going to outreach to? Who am I going to speak to within my customers? You know, where am I going to do my customer service? What am I going to book into my diary? You know, that stuff. And then you repeat and you repeat and you repeat. The other thing that you can do is look back. So on that first day, you do the things, you take the actions that you've set yourself before Christmas, that you know you're going to go and do. You know, the day you finish work this year, or if you've already finished work and you're listening to me and you're not working on your business until the new year now, sit down just for 10 minutes and work out the actions you're going to take for that first day back. And then on that first day back, when you've done the day, you plan the next day in as much detail as you did before. And then you sit down and you look, right, okay, what went well? What did I get done? Yes, go me, I got those things done. And really recognise those actions that you've taken. Not the results that you got, the actions that you took. There's a difference, a big difference. If you always reward yourself and recognise the fact that you've achieved the sales or the new teamie or whatever, when you don't get those things, you'll be down. You'll be upset. Absolutely recognise those things, but also recognise the things that you did to move the business forward. Whether you got the results, despite the fact that they didn't work, recognise yourself for them. This is the big thing. This is what changed my business around, recognising the fact that I was taking action. I made that phone call, go me. I outreached to that person that I was scared of outreaching to. Yes, go me. Celebrate those things, regardless of whether the answer was a yes or a no, regardless of whether it went well or didn't. Celebrate the fact that you're doing it. Think about, what went well. Did you take the actions? Yes. Brilliant. Fantastic. Massive recognition to yourself. Jump up and down, have a little dance, treat yourself to something, whatever. Then look at what didn't go well. What actions didn't you take? Why didn't you take them? What was it about those actions that stopped you from taking them? Where was the overwhelm kicking in? Okay, so what can I do slightly differently tomorrow? What can I either change about that action, or change about the mindset behind that action, or change about the thing, anything? Why am I not ready to do that? Why am I putting it off? What's scaring me about it? And actually really think about it, because otherwise that thing will still be on your to-do list. January the 1st, 2027. Can't believe I've just said that date today. But honestly, if you start to recognise those actions and really, really get into detail about why you're doing things and why you're not doing things, why are you doing all the easy things, you'll start to do the hard things more easily. And that's when your business will start to change. And that's when the habits will start to kick in more. When you recognise yourself for taking the actions, your brain sees that as like oh, she's done something really good. That's what my brain says anyway. And it makes you want to do more of the actions. Like when you are training a dog. Our brains work the same way. Dog does something good, you give it a treat. You do something good, you give it a treat. And it doesn't have to be, a piece of food or a drink or something like that. It can just be congratulating yourself and going, yay, well done me. Because the dog gets that same reaction. When you praise a dog, even if you don't give it a treat, it gets all excited. It knows it's done well. You do the same thing to your brain, you will start to want to do well to get that same feeling in your brain. We are just the same as animals when it comes to recognition and reward and creating habits. So if you can do that and you can get your brain on board with you doing that, and the next day you do the same thing and go, yes, go me, I've done something that stopped me falling back into the old patterns. I've done that thing that I've been putting off for so long. I've done those actions that I set myself. Yeah, I might not have done these ones, but I've done these ones. Yes, go me. You're going to do more the next day, and you're going to want to do more the next day, and you're going to get excited about doing those things the next day. But it takes time to implement this habit. And if you can get into that from day one, setting yourself the actions, really specific, not overwhelming actions, not loads and loads of them, maybe something that's a little bit scary, but not all scary. You do them, you recognise the fact that you've done them, even if you haven't done them all, and even if you didn't get the results you want. Do the same the next day, plan the actions, do the things, praise yourself for doing the things, and repeat and repeat and repeat. And every time you repeat it, you praise yourself. And every time you don't, you say, okay, why haven't I? But that's okay that I haven't. But what do I need to do to make sure that I do it in the future? I'm not going to beat myself up for not doing the things. I'm not going to say that I failed. It's just not worked for some reason that it hasn't worked. I'm going to move on and I'm going to try again. and I am going to make this work because I want this end goal, because I want my 2026 to be amazing. But it all starts with you planning now. Planning those actions in that you're going to take as soon as you're sat back at that desk, so you don't get the overwhelm, so you don't feel the fear. Well, you will feel the fear, but you don't get that like, oh God, I have no idea what I'm going to do, so therefore I'm just going to fall back into old patterns, or I'm not going to do anything because I don't know what to do. Or all those things scare me, so I'm not going to do any of them. How can you prevent that? That's my way of preventing it. It works for most of my clients. Give it a go. See if you can make it work for you. But the trick is to be kind to yourself while you're doing it, because you're not going to change everything overnight. Hope today's helped. I will be in my business for the next couple of days before I disappear off for Christmas. If you want to have a chat, drop into my inbox. If you want some help in the new year to create these habits, to get into some patterns, healthy patterns with your business, I shall see you all soon. Chat me. Bye.